I can't believe people did Camp America in the olden days. Like, how did they travel America with no Google, no Uber?
Yeah.
Like, how did people used to go traveling? I don't understand.
Good morning, counselors. Kick off your Crocs and sit back. It's time for the Camp America Rest Hour.
Hello!
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the podcast.
It feels like it's been a while since it's just been the two of us.
Yeah, we've had lots of guests on the podcast
We
recently.
have. I very much enjoyed it, but it's
Been
nice
really
to be
fun.
back.
Do you know what? It's
isn't
just nice to have a bit of space on the sofa.
it? Yeah, I can actually sit without my bum
Yesterday we
touching
were
someone else.
squished. Like, yeah, our bums were touching.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
Our bums
Yeah.
were touching on the sofa.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, so it's nice to have a bit of space back.
It is, isn't it?
But it was
Yeah.
nice to have guests also. It was fun to talk to other
Yeah,
people.
you learn lots of different things, don't
Yeah,
you?
we
as
learned
well?
so much. But
Yeah.
no, but it's good to be back. The OGs.
The OGs, we're back and we're ready to do it all over again. Do you know who
Yeah.
said that?
Who?
Jeremy Corbyn.
Oh,
Yeah.
getting political now on the
Yeah,
podcast.
sorry, no, we're apolitical actually. What on earth are we going to be talking about today, Zoe?
Earth. We're talking about the Earth. We're talking about travelling.
Woo!
Travelling the Earth. Yeah, so we're talking about travelling today. So travel. Joe's just pointing at me. And he's making me laugh.
fidgeting.
I am
with a
fidgeting.
little, what is that? The thing on the phone. The
I have
phone
like
charm.
a phone charm. My phone.
And she was fiddling with it.
But I've stopped now. Anyway, so yeah, as I was saying before, I was really interrupted again. Yeah, travel is one of the main reasons we go to camp. Obviously, it's not the main reason we go to camp for camp, but we go to camp on a J1 visa, which means that after we finish working at camp, we get 30 days to stay in America and go traveling around all the states.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. That's, I think, the biggest thing about going to camp. A lot of people
It's
are like,
such a big draw.
it's such an easy way to travel America is camp.
Yeah.
Because you go to camp, you work, you earn a bit of money, and then you've still got a month to travel around America when you finish, haven't you?
Yeah, and I always like use my full 30 days when I'm out there.
I do as well. I think, no, my first summer I didn't. My first summer I did 3 weeks.
Yeah, but
That's
still
'cause of it.
close.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. Last summer I did the whole thing. This summer I'm doing the whole thing as well.
Yeah, me too.
Haven't got any plans. We're going to go back to the old emails. We've
Yeah,
got some
we'd
emails.
love an email.
We do. We've got some emails sent in from some lovely people. ASMR with my paper.
That was good.
That was quite good, wasn't
Yeah, I
it?
like
Maybe I'll
that.
get into that. So, are you ready to hear the story that I have?
So I'm really excited.
So,
Yeah.
we've not read any of these stories.
No, I've actually not read any of them, so I am dyslexic, remember, so wish me luck.
Yeah. Well, I'm going first. So
Yeah,
you've
you
got
go
time.
first.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. You've said that like 3 times.
Well, are you ready?
I am ready.
Perfect. Okay, I travelled. This is the story. This isn't me.
Okay,
I travelled for 3 weeks down from New York to Miami with people I met at camp.
fun.
The second day I spent in Miami, me and my friends decided to spend a day in South Beach. Now, I've been to Miami,
Yeah.
and I didn't rate it that much. However, I did really like the beach,
Yeah?
but the rest of Miami
That's
was just
all
a
I
bit
think
boring.
of when I think of
Yeah,
Miami anyways,
yeah.
beaches.
Anyway, back to
Anyway.
the story. We had spent at least 2 hours laying on the beach and decided to go and get some lunch. Also, please wear Factor 50 in Miami, otherwise you will fry. Now, this I can back. I am as pale and fair as I come.
You do go very red.
Yeah, I don't go brown, I go red. And yeah, get your Factor 50. It's quite expensive in America, so
Maybe take some with you.
maybe take some with you. Yeah, especially like face sun cream. That's what I would
Yeah.
recommend.
Sorts of wrinkles.
Yeah, it does. I wear.
Yeah.
Do you know I wear SPF moisturiser every day?
You've got beautiful skin.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Otherwise, you will fry. Yeah, perfect. Anyway, we walk in to get lunch, and out of nowhere, this man and woman with cameras shout, "Get off the sidewalk!" I was going to do an American accent there. Should I do one?
Yeah.
With cameras shout, "Get off the sidewalk!" That was so
That was
bad.
good.
And we answered back, "What? We have every right to walk here." And the woman shouted back, "Not right now!" I don't know why she's Scottish.
She's got it.
I panic with that one. Not right now. I'm really panicked with that one, haven't I? It just looked right. It just sounded right. So she was pretty Scottish. Then suddenly, about 10 other people came out of nowhere from the bushes and kicked us off the sidewalk. I'm just imagining it. I can imagine it as well. They just appear from the bushes. Get off the
I
sidewalk!
always think of that Molly May meme when she's like in the bushes, or the
I don't
Homer
know
Simpson
that.
one.
The Homer
okay.
Simpson one, I don't
Just
know
me.
what you mean. They got kicked off the sidewalk, and this convertible car comes driving, and Kim Kardashian
No way.
North and her friend Jonathan come strolling out the car.
Stop.
So I have never seen anyone famous.
Are
but
you talking to about
I'm
yourself
just,
now?
Yeah, this
okay.
is me. But Kim Kardashian is probably one of the most famous people in the world.
No, do you know who's more famous? North.
Her TikToks are
Her
blowing
TikToks,
up.
I am so like here for North.
Where she dresses Ice Spice.
Oh my gosh, when she grows up, like I'm so here for her.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, love her. Icon.
So that's pretty cool. They saw Kim Kardashian. So at the end, they've written, "This is a lesson to not just lay on the beach, but to explore areas you're staying in, and you never know who you're going to meet."
Wow.
Now, I agree with that because the US is one of the biggest places in the world, right?
Yeah.
You've got like all these amazing places to go and see.
Yeah.
I always think you can go and lay on a beach in Europe. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
why go and lay on a beach in America?
Where are you going with
I don't know. I just think like go and see other things. Don't just go to the beach.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, the beaches are probably my least favourite part of travelling, but I'm not really a beachy person anyway.
But you can go to Europe and lay on the beach.
Yeah, that is true. But you could also go to Europe and go in a city, so I'm not really sure where you're going with that one.
Don't know, just easier to
but
go
great
and lay on the
advice.
beach in Europe, isn't
yeah,
it?
I know, but Kim Kardashian, that's pretty cool.
Lay on the beach, go and explore.
Go and explore. You never know who you're going to meet. Yeah, it was a good story.
That was a good story. I really like that one.
I'll be looking out for her this year. I've got
Kim Kardashian?
No, North.
Oh. Why are you looking up?
Oh, no. Maybe she did my cam. I'm going to really make myself laugh at that one.
That was really funny, actually.
So I've got an email as well, actually. It's quite a long one, so wish me luck, because there's no punctuation in this. I'm really going to struggle, but it is really funny.
Right. Take your time.
Okay, so off I go. My cousin plays college soccer in the US, so I went and stayed with him after camp. His soccer game got cancelled at the weekend. I was there, so we ended up buying last-minute tickets to a college football game with his teammates. We jumped in an Uber with a guy who had an American flag windows and blasted the finest British tunes the whole way there. That's fun, isn't it? I love a little road trip.
Yeah.
Always play some good songs. I like a bit of a throwback. They got to the stadium. It was an 80,000-seater stadium as well. So when they got there, they were sat really high because they bought their tickets last minute.
Can I just say, I say that a lot, I know I do, but I'm just going to say, college football in America is huge.
Oh my god, yeah, no, I just literally read that out and went straight past it.
80,000
people at like a college football game.
Imagine your uni and there was 80,000. I don't think there was 80,000 people at my uni. Oh no, it definitely was.
Yeah, no one went to like our varsity games. It was just like
went to the rugby. It was between like Leeds and Beckett. It was brilliant, but like they're huge.
It's a massive sport over there.
I think it's because obviously it's huge, and there's only certain like NFL teams, like professional football teams, in like certain areas. So if you live in like the middle of nowhere, you've not really got a team nearby.
Yeah,
if you live near a college, you've got a massive college team.
Yeah.
And obviously they all go to college and then become on to be like.
There's a lot of money in college.
You know, they get paid to play.
Yeah, it's not
insane.
Like that over here.
No,
I didn't get paid to do PE, GCSE.
I
can't even say it.
PE, CE, GCSE.
I can't even say it. You can tell I did PE, GCSE, can't you?
No, PE was hard, wasn't it?
It was hard, but I got full marks. Fun fact.
Thank you. Yeah, college football in America is huge. Also,
massive.
Fair play to this bloke who's playing college soccer.
Yeah,
I know someone who plays college soccer. It's D1. Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, D1, yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. Anyway, carrying on. So they bought the tickets last minute. So it was this massive stadium, 80,000 people there, and they were sat right at the top of the stadium. After the first quarter, we noticed that the real party was going on in the student section, which was a grass bank with standing room only, pitch side, as far away from us in the stadium as it could possibly be. We knew that we had no experience. Sorry, I told you, dyslexic. It's really hard to read.
That's right.
We knew that we wanted to get the real experience of real college football. So we started making our way down there, but there were armed police and security everywhere stopping us from getting into the section.
Armed police are just normal police in America.
It says armed police. Just normal
Everyone
police.
Everyone has a gun, don't they? Everyone, no, they might have been armed, but they're all armed, aren't they?
Yeah. So they've sorry, I'm trying to remember where we're going with the story. So they've walked down to like the better seats, basically. Yeah. After sweet talking a few security with our British accents, we ended up making it right to outside the student section. This was the hardest bit though. It was really tightly guarded by armed police and you needed a student ID to get into this section. We ended up finding a wheelchair in a back storage room.
Oh, no.
I think we know where this is going.
God.
And we ended up finding a wheelchair in a back storage room, definitely not in use, just to confirm. he didn't throw the guy off it. So we ended up sticking one of the lads in it. We rolled him up to the entrance, explained to the security that we were visiting from Britain and that our friend had hurt his leg so bad that this was the only place he'd be able to watch the game. To our surprise, he waved us through and told us to have a great time.
Oh.
Once we got onto the grass verge, the atmosphere was insane. I can imagine. I always see pictures of this.
Yeah, college football was insane.
Yeah, it looks so fun.
I wonder which college it was.
Oh, I don't know. I think I've got a picture. We can have a look after.
We'll have a look, yeah.
At some point though, we let go of the wheelchair and it rolled down the hill and started knocking people over like a bowling alley. Armed police came running over and told us we had to leave.
Was there someone in the wheelchair at this point?
When it was knocking everyone over.
Jeez.
That's really funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we went back to so when the police came over, we went back to our story and told them that our friend had a bad leg and that they would have to help us get him out of the area. So 4 huge American armed police officers picked up our mate and carried him out of the student section and put him back in the wheelchair. I'm just reading ahead, it gets better. We were then escorted out, but as soon as we got to the exit, we all legged it. And naturally, the lad in the wheelchair jumped up as well and started running with us. The security guards and police were absolutely baffled and started shouting hallelujah, thinking it was some kind of miracle. And then it said the rest of the night's events definitely can't be repeated at the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure there was, I'm sure they were over the age of 21.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it?
That is brilliant.
We've all like blagged our way into places before
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Like I've definitely done it. Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
That's
in
so
America,
funny.
it's wild.
But it's scary doing it in America because he was saying there's like armed police officers, like they genuinely
they're all carrying, yeah.
And like they are nice and they are friendly, but like
the British charm works a treat, though. I tell you.
Yeah. Oh my god, your British accent will get you anywhere in America.
Yeah.
Like
Have I told you my story about when I went to like a frat party?
No.
Should I tell that?
Yeah, tell that quickly.
It wasn't. I was there, but I wasn't the one that used my charm.
Yeah.
It was my friend. You know
Your
exactly
charm.
who it is.
Okay, I can imagine.
And so anyway, so we were at this party in Santa Barbara, which is brilliant, by the way. Like, hit up Santa Barbara if you're over there. It was like being back at uni, like in Hyde Park in Leeds. It was like being there.
You love Leeds.
Just Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Leeds. And anyway, so we were there, and it was like, I don't even know how we knew these people, but someone that I was traveling with knew someone who lived like in San Francisco, went to uni in Santa Barbara. That's pretty much all we need to know. Anyway, we go up there. It was like the day after my birthday, and we were doing a road trip, and we went up there. And she was like, "Oh, we've got a band party." She was calling it. There's a band party.
Okay.
And so we were like, oh, "Okay, yeah, we'll help this. We'll go. We'll have a like."
Yeah.
So we got like a few beers in, like whatever. We're playing some drinking games. We were all over the age of 21. Can I just clarify? And we were having a drink, whatever. And then she was like, "Oh yeah, like no one takes drink to these things. Like everyone's like pre-gamed."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Just like pre-drinking.
So I took a couple of beers in my pocket, like as you do. And so we got there, and it was like, when I say band party, what kind of band were you thinking?
I don't know. I'm thinking of like those American movies where they have them in
Brass
the garage.
band?
Like no, I was thinking like a like like loaded diaper in.
So I was thinking, for some reason in my head, I was thinking brass band. Obviously, there would be a brass band at a party. Do you know what
I don't know why you were thinking brass band.
No, neither was I. But then I also was like, oh yeah, it'd be like sort of like indie music, like maybe a bit of rock and roll.
Yeah.
It was heavy metal, like screamo. They were going like honestly down the mic. So like there was dust kicking up everywhere, like mosh pits, like people like fight. It was brilliant.
Wow,
right?
that is so fun.
So we got there, like 5 British people.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 1 New Zealander, and the rest of us were British.
Yeah.
And there was no this was outside. And it was honestly, there was like people on the roof, like people climbing trees. There was a big trampoline, like there was this band on stage, like screaming. It was brilliant.
It sounds like a movie.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And so we got there, and there was like nowhere to go for a wee. Like, lucky I didn't need a wee, and this girl only lived down the road. One of my mates was like, "Oh, I really need the toilet. I need a wee." So he went in, and he was like, went into this house that it was attached to, like the garden, and like there was someone stood there. And he's like, "Oh, you're not allowed to come in. It's like frat only." Yeah. And he was with this girl as well, and he goes, "Oh, okay, then no worries," like this. And then one of them comes out, one of the fraternity boys, and he starts talking to my mate.
Yeah.
And my mate was going, "God, you're just so cool, aren't you? Like, I'm so like just giving him all these compliments." He's like, the girl was going like, "Oh yeah, you're so like cool," like, and he obviously loved it. And he goes. So then my friend turns around and goes, "I really need to use your toilet. Can I come and use the bathroom?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course you can." He's like, "In you come." And he walks in. And it was just all these boys, right? Like, proper American like frat boys. Yeah. And they were all like I don't know if I can say this. You might have to cut this bit out. They're all in California, so all it is. But that's like part of this. We can say it like the story.
Yeah.
And so he walks in. They're all like proper frat boys, like in like little tight vests, like backwards hats, like all this. And he goes up to them and he introduces my two friends.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I didn't even get your name." He was like, "My name's Stone." So they had, and they were like introducing it. It was like Stone, Ty, like all these American names. Like I can't remember what they were. But yeah, so that's how my friend ended up in a frat party. He used the toilet and stayed in there for a bit longer, and then left, found us, and we were covered in dust. Yeah, there you go.
Very random, very fun though.
Sorry, I just had to interject that.
No, that was really fun.
Yeah.
Do we have any more stories?
Yes, I have another story for us all to hear. I feel like it's been a lot of my voice today, but
yeah, it's a lot of you. Maybe too much too.
Maybe, but I'll read it.
Okay, go on, read it.
Okay, so this is from someone in the office, someone we know quite well.
Ooh,
we won't say any names.
Should we guess?
No,
No.
we know.
No, we know.
So they have said this story. I did a road trip with some friends after camp, and we found ourselves at an amazing campsite in Yosemite National Park.
So fun.
Phenomenal.
Loved Yosemite.
Loved it.
We get the chance.
Lived it, loved it. Brilliant. Get over there. We heard about a waterfall hike up Half Dome, and equipped with a sandwich and an apple, we set off for a stroll.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. For context, if no one knows what Half Dome is, Half Dome is like one of the biggest hikes you can do in Yosemite, and currently you have to get a permit to do it.
You know the North Face logo?
Yeah.
That's Half Dome.
That's Half Dome. Yeah,
it's huge.
You have to get like a permit to go up it. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah. So they've set off with an apple and a sandwich.
What?
After some beautiful waterfalls, which I didn't see anyway because I went at the end of August or start of September. They'd all dried up. Anyway, after some beautiful waterfalls, the majority of our group decided to stay and chill near the water. But me and a friend decided to carry on hiking. Before we knew it, we were committed to a day hike up to the subdome. We had no food. We'd already eaten the sandwich and the apple. And my friend was wearing flip-flops. He was wearing flip-flops up Half Dome, which is insane.
What? That is actually insane.
That is insane.
We're not even allowed to leave our cabins at camping.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to wear closed-toe shoes. He just decided to trek up Half Dome. So he's wearing flip-flops. I'm a competitive person and got caught up with the idea of competing the hike against some serious hikers with all the gear, sticks and all. Some were even...
Alex, what's he called? Alex...
Yeah, the guy who climbed...
The guy who did...
the other one.
What's it called? I can't give facts if we don't know what it is. Free
Solo.
Solo.
What's the
he did
El
that.
Cap. El Cap.
Yeah.
He climbed El Cap without any ropes.
This is
Maybe this is...
Oh, I didn't say the name.
It doesn't really matter. She knows who she is. I'm a competitive person and got caught up with the idea of completing the hike amongst some serious hikers with all the gear, sticks and all.
Yeah.
Some were even camping halfway up to break it up. I would have done that because it's such a long way.
What, camp?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have even set off on the walk to begin with.
No, I probably wouldn't have either. Yeah, well, I went. I didn't even think about it. Anyway, we made it up to the subdome and we're buzzing. The last bit, you have to pull yourself up with cables, and the view from the top is insane. It's literally like people wear like harnesses and stuff. Don't they, like,
if you've never seen it, you need to go Google a picture of this. It's actually insane.
Yeah, Google Half Dome top of hike or something like that. It'll come up. The view from the top is insane. Perfect opportunity for a picture. Or so we thought, until we realised my camera wasn't working. This was before good quality camera phones, and we were so annoyed not to have proof that we had completed this mammoth undertaking. Luckily, a nice American woman offered to take our picture and email it to us, and she followed through. I swear if she hadn't, I might question if this actually happened. And they said at the end, now you need permits to do this hike, and it's seen as a bucket list trail for not beginners. And my friend completed it in flip-flops.
That's actually the craziest story. Isn't it? Like, so crazy. People, I can't even believe it.
You have to enter like
see the picture.
A lottery, like a ballot now.
Yeah,
I think,
it's
to
like
get up there.
People try and do it for years. Like, you can't just do this hike. They did it in flip-flops with an apple.
Apple and a sandwich.
I'm so confused. That's insane. Do you know what we were actually just saying? I think we were saying it off, like, when we weren't being recorded. But we were just talking about, I can't believe that people used to travel before we had, like, phones and Uber and, like, Google Maps. Like, how they just like went and walked up map. This thing.
You had to use a physical
and
map.
they couldn't even take a picture at the top. I'd be stopping every 2 minutes for an Instagram.
Yeah, you would. I wouldn't though.
Well, I just can't believe it.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I just can't imagine a time before it was so easy to travel.
Well, that was like someone else in the office. I'm not going to say his name, but he went to camp a few years ago.
Yeah.
Before phones.
Yeah.
Not before phones, but you know what I mean. And he told me a story. They did a road trip across the US from east to west. I think I'm getting this right. I could be completely wrong. Could be making it up. And they had like a big RV, and they had 3 albums, just 3 CDs.
And they just kept listening to the same one.
Because obviously you've got Spotify now, or whatever. You can plug it in, play away, play anything. But you had 3 CDs. I think one of them was Alanis Morissette, James, and something else. I can't remember the last one. I have to
That's
find
so
out.
funny.
Yeah, imagine doing that.
I can't even imagine it.
No, I can't. Even like when we were in LA, like we had to get Ubers everywhere.
Yeah, Uber. I wouldn't be able to live without Uber.
No, especially in America, it's so easy to use.
Because you can't walk places.
No,
you have to get in a car.
Because it's so big.
Uber. Yeah.
I've said this 3 times now, but America is so big.
You keep saying it.
Every
time you say it, it gets bigger.
But I'm looking at a map, and it is huge.
Massive.
It's not as big as
but not on
places,
that map.
like,
on that map, it's quite small actually.
Yeah, but I mean the UK looks huge on that. Sorry, we're getting distracted. So there are some lovely stories from some wonderful people.
Yeah, they were funny.
They were good.
That.
I liked the Yosemite one.
Yeah, the Yosemite one has really blown my mind. I didn't even go tell everyone about it.
That's insane.
Really blown
We've
my mind.
both done some travelling, haven't we?
Yeah, I've done quite a bit of travelling actually.
Where have you travelled?
All over. I've done like the Midwest down to like Nashville. I've done the West Coast and I've done the East Coast.
Yeah, I've done.
What have you done?
Thanks for asking. I've done.
Sorry.
Some of the East Coast and I've done California.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Where was your favourite place to go?
This is such a hard one because I liked everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Apart from Miami, didn't really rate that one as much.
Fair enough.
I love.
You didn't see Kim Kardashian though.
No,
that's why.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
No, North. I didn't see Northwest.
Yeah, Northwest.
That's why. No, I loved San Diego.
Yeah.
I know it's a beach, and I know I said earlier that.
Yeah, you don't like.
Don't
you go to the
Europe
city.
for the beach.
Go to the Europe.
But San Diego was phenomenal. Like, what a cool place that was.
Yeah.
What's your favourite place?
I do love the West Coast.
Yeah,
the
me
West
too.
Coast is my favourite. I really
West
enjoy...
Coast, best coast, baby.
Oh God,
I said that last time, didn't I?
It's back. I can't go. I really hate it when you say
Why?
that.
I like that.
West Coast, baby.
West Coast, best coast, baby.
No, I do love the West Coast. I love National Park. Yosemite's up there for me, honestly. I think my favourite city in America is Chicago.
Never been.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't. It's just because it's like closer to my camp. But it's a really nice city because it has a city like New York, but it also has a beach.
It has a beach, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's like a really interesting, cool city.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Never ever been. I really like New York. It's a classic.
See, I don't like New York.
Yeah, but you're not a city boy, girl.
I'm not a city person. I prefer to be outdoors.
You're from the countryside, aren't you?
I am from the countryside.
Yeah.
But the thing with New York for me, it was incredible, don't get me wrong. And the first time I went, I was like, wow, I'm in the movies and everything you look at is from a movie set. But then it's kind of like, once you've seen it, you've seen it. It's a big building, it's a road, it's a car, it's a flashing light. And I was kind of done for me.
Yeah.
And then, whereas I went to places like Yosemite and they just like had more of an impact on me, I was like the nature was just so like huge and it was crazy. You can't even imagine what it looks like.
Yeah, I have done the same sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I do love New York, and they will always have like this can be a special place in my heart. Yeah, I really like New York.
Yeah.
And then like the national park, like Yosemite is mind blowing.
Yeah, it's just like you can't even begin to imagine what it looks like and how big it is. The scale of things. The scale of things in America is insane. Like everything in America.
Everything is big.
The roads
are huge.
Mountains, so this is one thing that's scale. So I went to the Grand Canyon, which is also one thing that once you've seen it, I actually went on a helicopter over the Grand Canyon.
That's sick. That's wicked.
Incredible. I cried.
Yeah.
Because it was so breathtaking. It sounds really sad, but it quite literally took my breath away.
Yeah.
And there was tears in my eyes. I was also really scared of the helicopter. They weighed me before I went in it. I think that was what scared me the most. They were making sure it wasn't going to fall out of the sky. But yeah, no, that was incredible. But I was going to say is when we first went to see it, they put paper bags on our heads. So they put literally a brown paper bag on all our heads. First of all, I was really hungover because we'd been to Las Vegas the night before, and then some random lady put a paper bag on my head, and then we all held hands. It sounds really cringe, but it was quite a very emotional day for me in the Grand Canyon. Yeah, put the bag on my hand.
Now.
Yeah,
we all looking out the window.
looking out the window, pretending I'm there. We're all holding hands. I'm holding hands with my brother, and we walk up, and then they take the bag off your head when you're in front of it, so you see it all at once.
Wow.
Because like. Cool. They wanted it to have like an impact, because like if you see it a little bit at a time when you're driving up, it's like, oh, a bit of this, bit of that. But then it was like that real like literally did take your breath away when you saw it. Imagine. The scale of it was insane, but it was definitely one of those once you've seen it moments.
I've never been. I'd love to go.
You definitely should see it once in your life.
Loved Lake Tahoe. Oh, what a place that was.
Stunning.
We only went for a 2-night, can't remember.
Yeah.
But brilliant. Went for a swim in the lake, which is really cold.
You said that so slow.
Went for a swim. I was thinking about it. I saw a bear.
Did you see a bear? I've seen bears in America.
Brilliant. We stood on a pier, and he just kind of wandered over, and I was like, oh, there's a bear. And we ran, and I didn't really know what to do.
You're not supposed to run.
We didn't follow us. I'm still his
tail.
So.
Yeah, you are.
And then next day in Yosemite, we saw a mummy bear and a baby bear. And that was scary. She was so ugly. You have to be scared,
not scared, but like wary.
Yeah, the baby was so cute, and then the mum just turns around and had this face on.
Yeah, you're not supposed to run though. You're supposed to be bigger than the bear.
So we walked away. They were like on the bridge below us. No, we were on the bridge and they were below us. So we walked away, and my friend picked up a big stick, and I was like, oh, what's that going to do? Like floss its teeth. I was like, what's that? That's rubbish.
Floss its teeth.
And so we walked off, and then we told everyone, and then they cordoned it off.
Yeah.
And then a bit later on, we were driving around, and they were playing the mummy and the baby.
Oh, that's really cute, like brother bear.
Yeah, but they were mummy and baby.
Yeah. Cute.
It was quite sweet. Yeah.
That is sweet.
Yeah. But what was the best sort of like way of traveling that you've done? Because obviously you've done a few things.
Yeah, I've done lots of different kinds of traveling.
Yeah. What was your favourite way of traveling?
So I've actually
go on.
I was gonna say, I think we're gonna touch on the same thing.
I think we were.
Like Camp America treks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I'm thinking the same. It's because we've done so many of these now. So we actually do. Camp America does something called a Camp America trek, which is like an organised way of travelling. Yeah. So what we've been talking about before is like we've organised our own travel.
No. When you had the paper bag on your head, that was a
paper
trek,
bag was a trek.
Yeah.
I didn't put a paper bag on my head myself. I wasn't a random lady. It wasn't. I got off the bus and they put a bag on my head.
Excuse me, would you mind just helping me
Actually,
out
when
quickly?
you enter, excuse me, he's put his bag on my head. No. Yes, so that was. So basically, you can pay Camp America, and we will put a bag on your head.
Lucky you.
But no, it's really good. So basically, the trek, they organise your travel for you. So you'll get on like a bus or something. I'm saying a bus. Mine was like a mini bus. And you get on it with loads of other people who have also done Camp America.
Yeah, they're only for Camp America.
Yeah, and you go travel around America, and you have a tour guide. My tour guide was so fun. I'm actually really good friends with him. And you travel around, and you camp places, and all your food's included. It was like a really easy way to travel.
And it takes you like a lot of the time you go to like outdoorsy places, don't you?
Yeah, you go to places that you wouldn't normally be able to go. Like, oh, I always tell everyone we went to. So you know the film Cars. I know I always talk about it because I really love it. I can't remember what it's called, the place, but there's like a town.
Brilliant road trip tune, by the way.
So good.
Recommend
I think we've said that before.
Whack it on the playlist.
Anyway, there's a town where the Cars movie is based off of, and the people in the town are the cars. So there's like real life people that the different characters in the Cars movie are based off of.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, and it's in this town. So like there's like a shopkeeper who's like in the movie is a car.
And they're real life people.
They're real life people.
Wow.
So the people who created the movie went to this town and
based at Radiator Springs.
And when you go to the town, it looks like Cars.
Wow.
It's like really
Cars
weird.
Probably looks like it.
I can't explain it.
Was
but
it on
like,
Route 66?
Yeah, it's on Route 66. Yeah, and we stopped there, and it was like really, really cool. So like they took us to like.
Was
places.
there someone running up and down really fast? And that was like.
So there wasn't, but actually in this town something really weird did happen to me. So there was a man. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. There was a man with a horse. And like he was like a cowboy, and I was like walking down the road with my brother, and he just like basically picked me up and put me on the horse. And then I was riding around the town on this cowboy's horse with his hat, and he gave me his gun.
What does your brother do? Just
I was
watch
literally like holding this gun on his horse.
God.
And it wasn't like when you ride a donkey in Blackpool, like he wasn't holding the reins. Like I was literally riding the horse, and I've never rode a horse in my life.
Oh.
And I didn't think he was going to let me off. It was really weird. And no one believed me when I got back on the bus.
That is insane.
I was like, I just got kidnapped by a cowboy.
What did your brother do? Just
He was Snapchatting it. He was sending pictures to my mum. That was
That's
a
so
common
funny.
theme on it. Yeah, by the way, I did a Camp America trip with my brother. He was there. He also did camp.
Yeah.
That's why he's in a lot of my stories.
Yeah, that's fun.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the trek actually. It was a lot of fun.
See, I've never done one, but we did like our own mini road trip up California and back.
Yeah.
And it was really good because we kind of like, we started in San Diego, then we got a car from there and we drove up, did LA, which is okay, not my favourite place. Like, it was good to say I've been.
Another just bucket list place.
Yeah. The observatory was really nice.
Yeah, that
sunset. And we went up there and we started a cheer for the sunset.
I think I've seen the video.
Yeah, everyone started cheering with us. It was really nice.
That is cute.
And then we did, where else did we do? Santa Barbara, which is cool. Then we went up, did Big Sur. And we bought a tent, so we just camped.
Yeah.
Like, in some places we stayed in Airbnbs and like hostels and whatnot, but then we're like, oh, we just camp.
Yeah, like you can just buy like a tent from Walmart. Like,
yeah, like a blow-up mattress and a duvet. That's what we had. And then obviously we did Santa Barbara, Big Sur, and then we were in Big Sur, and we hadn't booked anywhere to stay, so we just like went up to a campsite, and they were like, oh, we haven't got any space, but if you go down here and park on the left, you can cross, or park on the right, cross over the road and camp on the left. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There'll be some other people there. No one there, not a soul, and it was really scary. It was like
that
pitch
so
black.
Scary,
so we put up our tent, whatever, went to bed. Like there was 5 of us all in this one tent, and the next morning we woke up. And there was just cows surrounding the tent. Have I shown you the video?
No.
There's just hundreds of cows. We've obviously parked in like
a field.
Yeah. It was bizarre. And then we drove up next morning and carried on driving. We weren't even in Big Sur. We were just outside.
You weren't even in the campsite.
No, we weren't even in Big Sur. We were literally like outside Big Sur. And then we got a flat tire that day.
Oh.
And I was just in the middle of nowhere.
Did you change the tire?
Well, I didn't really know how to. And this guy comes screeching around the corner in this like old banger.
Yeah.
And my friend went up to him. He had no shoes on, no shirt. His dog had 3 legs and 1 eye. And it was bizarre, really weird.
I like how I nodded like that's just a normal thing to see.
Yeah. And he jumps out the car and my friend goes, oh, like, you don't happen to know how to change the tyre? And he goes, I'm a mechanic.
Oh, how lucky.
So he changed the tyre, gave him a couple of beers for it. And off we went, and then we had to try. It was a Sunday, and we had to try and find somewhere to like change the tire.
Yeah.
Oh, nightmare! So we ended up in a place called like Seaside or something. I can't remember where it was. Weird.
No idea.
And then carried on driving, and then San Francisco. San Francisco's nice.
Yeah, like San Francisco. Yeah. I did like thing where new words came out then.
Yeah,
I did the thing where you like hire the bikes and drive over the bridge.
Oh, okay,
it's really fun.
We drove the bridge. And we played Californication by Red Hot Chili Peppers. But I couldn't really, because I was the only one that could bloody drive the whole time. Yeah. So I literally sat there. I was so tired. Bear in mind, right, last time I drove before that was 2019.
Wow.
In America also, where I drove through some states where I was meant to have an international driving license, but I didn't. She's laughing down there.
So you need to get an international driving license.
Have a look. This is some advice. Have a look at what states you're driving through, because some of them you might need an international driving license.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
But yeah, so I drove the whole thing, and then we did San Fran. But San Fran we did really nicely because we went and stayed with someone, and we did like Muir Woods or something, which is like big redwoods trees, brilliant. And then we did Mount Tam, which was really nice sunset.
That is nice.
And then Tahoe, Yosemite, and we dropped everyone off at this point. It was just me and one of my friends. Then we drove from Yosemite. I drove from Yosemite all the way down to like LA.
Yeah.
And there's like a big thing outside LA. I don't even know what it was called. Some like national park. I honestly couldn't tell you. And he was like, oh, we'll just pull in and we'll park in this campsite here. I was like, oh yeah, okay, like fine, whatever. No one there. It was called Toad Springs. No one there. It hasn't been open for years. Went down, like honestly, it was like this steep road like this. Went down. I was like, you know what, I'm going to sleep in the car, I think. And he went, yeah, me too. Scariest night's sleep I've ever had in my whole entire life.
Yeah, that is scary.
And then next morning woke up, someone came down the dirt path and like, basically I put my pants.
Yeah, you're going to be in trouble.
Jumped in the car, drove off. Honestly, if I carried on driving for 5 more minutes, I'd have got to a town with a motel and stuff. And I was like, for God's sake. But it was fine. And back to LA, back down to San Diego, New Orleans, Alabama, Louisiana, all that. Done there.
Fun. You've done it all.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of travelling. Would you say you have any tips? So obviously, like, you didn't have anywhere to stay then. Do you have any tips for places to stay?
How
to find places to stay? Airbnb, yeah. I also use Airbnb. It's really good. Hotels can be expensive.
Yeah.
And it's like if there's a big group of you, it's cheaper to just split an Airbnb.
Yeah. And it's a lot more like it's your space. Because a lot of the time it's like
a kitchen.
Yeah, like a little apartment or a little house.
And normally they're in places... Oh, I just got a delivery notification.
Oh.
It's lunchtime. Sorry, I'm thinking about food now. Often they're in locations like in the town or like cooler locations than what like a hotel would be in. To get a better American experience. Somewhere I stay is hostels.
I've done a couple of hostels.
I find the hostels in America are a lot nicer than hostels in Europe. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like way nicer. Like there's one in LA and it literally has like a swimming pool.
Really?
Like it's really nice. It's like nicer than a hotel. Don't be scared of hostels.
Yeah. I think everyone in hostels is travelling like you are as well.
Yeah, it's a good way to like meet other people. Like I've made friends in hostels as well.
If there's like a few of you as well, the chances are you'll rent out.
You probably get the whole room.
Or the whole room.
And like you can do single gender rooms or you can do like mixed gender rooms. Yeah. So like they're
they're really relaxed, aren't
they? And you get private rooms.
Yeah, and then you can like buy food if you can serve like a.
And you can cook food there. Yeah. I think just hotels are sometimes a bit of a cop out and like they can be expensive.
And they're also not that nice.
They're not. Oh my god, hotels! I stayed in a Super 8 in America, guys. Never stay in one of those. So bad, like the lowest of the low of like. We broke down. Have I not told the story? I think I've told this story. I broke down.
No,
in another podcast. I did when we drove from camp to Chicago.
No, I don't think we've heard that.
Maybe. I think I told that I drove, but I don't know if I told I broke down.
No,
so I drove from. This isn't really a travel story. It was after what it is. It was after camp. I drove from Wisconsin to Chicago. It was like I think it was like a 6-hour drive. Maybe it was an 8-hour drive. It was a really long drive. And just outside Chicago, we broke down, and we was in my friend's car. She's crying her eyes out. Oh God, she's gonna kill me for telling this. She was crying her eyes out, and we rang the mechanic, and he goes, "Don't cry," on the phone, and we were like, "You're not helping."
Why do you sound like that?
Literally,
don't cry.
He literally did. Like it's our group chat name. Like he fully did. It was so funny, and I'm such a joker. I'm in the back, like I don't know how to deal with this situation, laughing my head off. And we were like, we don't know what to do. We don't have a car. We're panicking. We're in America, right? So we just go like pull the car into this Super 8 hotel. It's like dirt cheap. There's like literally like rodents running around. Like it's disgusting. I don't want to scare anyone off, but like it was the low of the low. Like barely slept, shit ourselves the whole night. Oh, can I say that?
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, it was like just so scary. Anyway, that was the hotel. The next day, we get in the car. It's still broken. We can't make it to Chicago at this point. And we're like, what are we going to do?
Cannot go there.
The Chicago cannot go.
That was good, wasn't it?
So we literally can't get there. And then,
that's really funny.
Sorry, I don't even think it's a good story. And then basically, we panicked. So we were like, we need to get Chicago. So our only hope at this point was to scrap the car. What? I don't know why. We were just really silly and we thought we'll just scrap the car. So we start driving to like the shop where you like scrap the car, the scrap yard, and we're literally driving so slow, like 10 miles per hour, like down a main road. It's like a motorway to scrap the car, and the scrap yard's like there. We're coming up to it, and we don't stop. We just keep driving, and we just like literally cross our fingers, didn't scrap the car, and made it all the way to Chicago.
Wow.
And we drove so slow, and the car's like it's making all these noises, and we're like, it's crying in the car. It's like a whole thing. Anyway, so we make it to Chicago, and my friend drops us off, and she kept the car for another year after the incident.
Still carried on going.
And we were fully about to scrap the car.
Well, that was quite
which
nice.
just shows how dramatic I am in most of this.
Dramatic,
but don't stay in a Super 8. And if we'd have just kept driving, we wouldn't have even had to have stayed there. We would have made it. So
I've never heard of Super 8. It doesn't sound like somewhere I want to go.
No, maybe it's a Midwest thing.
Might be. But I think the best thing.
There's motels are gross as well. I don't like a motel.
I think the best thing for like accommodation, Airbnb,
hostel. I think I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry.
God bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
I always sneeze 3 times.
3 times in a row. Look at that.
Pineapple. Carry on.
So one thing we haven't mentioned is obviously at camp you're going to meet people. You're going to meet American people.
I can't breathe. You're going to meet American people. Oh my god, if you go to America, you're going to meet American people.
And they're very accommodating.
No way. Yeah, they are very accommodating.
Right, Sam, cut this bit out because she's really throwing my groove.
I can't stop sneezing.
Stop sneezing.
I can't, it hurts.
Stop sneezing.
Yeah. So, when you go to America, you're going to meet American people. Joe, would you like to say that?
When you... Never mind. So, obviously...
When you go to America, you're going to meet American people.
Can you tell her off?
I want to tell both of you off.
Me?
Just carry on.
So there's one kind of accommodation that we haven't mentioned, isn't there?
Yeah, so when you go to America, you're going to meet American people, and they're going to be really accommodating. He's picking up something to hit us with.
You've got to hold it together.
Stop interrupting me then. She has. She
Knock,
interrupts me
knock.
every time.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Sheep. Interrupted sheep.
Sheep poo?
Bah.
Yes, she does. Okay, right, I'll get back into it now. So obviously, we haven't mentioned this one form of accommodation either. When you're at camp, you're obviously going to meet people from America. And
yeah, so when you go to America, you're going to meet American people.
yeah,
Carry
and
on.
a lot of the time, the people you meet at camp are very accommodating.
They are.
And they've got places for you to go and stay.
Very
And
nice.
they're always usually open for like letting you stay there. So
Yeah.
like, use that as well to your full advantage.
Yeah,
because
use
it
that to
saves
your
you some
advantage.
money
And
as
you can
well.
also, like, they have houses in places where you never normally go as well.
Yeah.
Like, I went and stayed with my friend in Colorado, and it was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in the
Yeah,
town.
like you stay in like a lot of them live in, like my friends live in New York, so like we go and stay there and stuff like that. So
yeah,
like,
you love New York.
I do.
It
like
changed
it a
his
lot.
life.
Changed my
Touched his heart.
I watched Book of Mormon in New York. It was brilliant. What else are we talking about?
We've not talked about transport.
No, we haven't, have
so
we?
we've talked a lot about the places we go, but not how we get there.
Yeah. How'd you get there?
Well, America's like a really big country, right? I sound like crazy now. Like
You said that
America's
4
full of
times.
Americans, and it's a big
it's big,
country.
yeah.
We're full of facts on this episode, but no, it genuinely is like it's so big, and it's not like in the UK where you can just hop on a train. Like their public transport is not like our public transport
not
at all. They do have a train system, but it's really expensive, and it doesn't go to many places.
Yeah.
It's
What's it
better.
called? The Amtrak.
The Amtrak.
Yeah.
It's really expensive.
Really expensive.
It's way better to get on buses. I have used the Greyhound buses.
Yeah,
You've
I have
probably
as
heard
well.
stories. They are an experience.
Yeah.
An experience that I don't think I would choose to have again, personally.
No, me neither. I think they're not very comfortable.
Not comfortable. They're very
cheap.
sketchy.
Yeah, and they're full of weirdos.
I think for me,
really, aren't they?
yeah, the thing was, it wasn't that, like, the cheap thing, the rubbish night's sleep, like, I could get on board with that.
Me too,
But it was more that they were just, like, really sketchy.
Yeah.
And then, so my second year, when I went, I ended up getting Megabus. That was almost the same price and such a better experience.
Yeah.
There was no bars on the windows. There were no weirdos.
Yeah.
And they dropped you off at places that were just, like, way better.
Don't they just drop you off at like Port Authority?
Oh my god, we got, well,
I don't know.
the Megabus did. The Greyhound bus
Dropped you in the middle of
dropped us
nowhere.
like at petrol stations and like the middle of the road.
Yeah,
like
horrible,
literally in
right?
the middle of the road in Madison, we got dropped off.
Bizarre. We got the one from Boston to Portland in Maine.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I went to Portland in Maine, but I did. I went and watched a film. I didn't go up there to watch a film, but I went up there and watched a film. I was there anyway.
Fun.
Yeah, we got a Greyhound up there, dead cheap, but yeah, dropped us off at a gas station. And we had to get an Uber from there.
Yeah, then we had to get an Uber anyway.
to the hospital.
So
I was just like, what's the point? Like,
you might be a bit better spending a tiny bit more, getting on a slightly nicer bus, but there
yeah.
are quite a lot of bus companies out there, and the buses are a really good option because it means you save money on staying a night in like accommodation as well, because you're like it's just sleeping on the bus, so that is a really good option.
Yeah, so we've got buses, obviously planes if you're going like cross country or
Domestic
whatever.
flights are quite cheap.
Yeah, and they're easy as well.
They're
They
really
don't take
easy.
long. So like I did, New York, San Diego.
Yeah,
like
I did across.
$150 was dead cheap.
Yeah, domestic
and
flights are
quick.
good. Another way you could travel is car, but I think we need to talk about this because I think a lot of people think about the American dream and they think they're just going to hire a car, they're going to hop in their car, and they're going to do the West Coast.
That's what I did.
But it's not possible for everyone.
No, obviously.
There's age limitations on insurance.
I tell you though, so I was 22.
Yeah.
And most places you have to be 25 to rent, but it's not actually have to be 25.
Yeah.
You just have to pay a bit more money. So we paid $5
so it costs
a day.
more expensive.
So it cost a little bit more, but there was 5 of us. It was actually really cheap anyway, so it didn't make a difference.
But I think you do have to consider it.
You have to consider it, definitely. But
it's not as easy as it first seems. Like there's going to be more hurdles for you because of age.
Yeah.
Like some of you are going to be like 18 going to America. So there's going to be like more hurdles with that. Hiring a car, there's so many more logistics to it.
It's like dropping it off in a different location, you have to pay more money. So like, that's why we end up just dropping it back in San Diego because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
And like, again, like I said, the international driving licenses, you have to look into them. It is definitely doable. It's very an easy way to travel because you could
go where you
set
want.
Off on your own time, go when you want,
but
go where you want.
It takes a little bit more planning, I think.
It takes more planning, yeah.
And making sure you read into it before you go.
Obviously, you're responsible. Like,
Joe had a little crash.
Yeah, I had 2 little crashes. But like, obviously, we were covered by insurance, so it was fine.
Yes, you need to check things
so
like that.
We paid extra for that, like extra for the insurance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we didn't end up getting charged for it, for the damage. No, there was much. I like bumped into the back of a brand new BMW.
That's not that deep.
Who cares?
Yeah,
I'm joking. So we pulled over, like, swap details. He didn't, like, they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
The insurance company rang me when I was back here, and I was like, yeah. And they were like, okay, no worries, thanks.
Fine. Easy.
Yeah. And then,
done.
Yeah, so just look into it.
Yeah. Just research everything, really.
I think that's just general, like, travel
research.
tip.
And you know what? You're going to have so much time to research travel. Sorry, I don't know why I'm sat like this. My arm's above my head. You're going to have so much time to research travel whilst you're at camp.
Yeah.
We see so many messages every day on, like, social media platforms of people trying to figure out their travel plans now. And my best advice that I can give you is just wait. Like, you're going to have so much time to figure out your travel plans at camp. You're going to meet new people and you're going to change everything that you want to do. So don't panic and rush into something.
Just wait and see when you're at camp, and then they'll be able to you can either your leg was distracting me. You were moving your leg and distracting me.
Sorry.
That's all right. So just don't plan it too far in advance. I think wait till you're at camp because you'll meet people and
you'll meet people and you'll want to travel with them, and you'll always regret having plans before. Like, I've got so many people who have like booked flights before they go to camp between states or hotels and like made plans with their parents maybe, and then they get there and they're like, oh no, now I actually want to travel with people from camp. Yeah,
no, I totally agree with that one. So don't stress about planning it as well.
No, and it's so much fun. Like, you're about to have the best summer ever, and make the most of the travel. Make the most of being in America.
I think as well, if you want to plan it, I think a Camp America trek is a brilliant way to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's already organised for you. Or if you're just nervous,
like, it's your first year travelling, like, it's scary travelling.
Yeah, it's scary.
Oh my gosh, I cried quite a bit actually the first time we went travelling.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a bit homesick actually. I think that's something we haven't touched on.
No.
Is
homesickness.
Okay, actually we haven't touched on this. Is that after you finish camp, it's a shock because you're upset because you're leaving camp. You're leaving people you spent so much time with.
You're leaving routine as well.
But then you're not going home, and sometimes it can feel like this weird in between like step where you're like, you're not at camp, but you're not at home. You're just kind of in limbo.
You're just floating, aren't you? Like, you're just sort of moving from here to there to there to there.
Exactly. And there's always like a couple of days for me in between camp and travelling where I just feel really down, and I think that's okay. And you do need a bit of space in that time to feel like that.
Yeah, you
and I think you might get homesick when you travel, but it's normal. Like,
just try and
live in the moment.
Yeah, enjoy everything around you.
Yeah, because I wish now, that first time travelling after travelling since, I wish I'd lived in the moment a bit more, because I think I was almost getting ready to go home.
I think you are as well, aren't you?
Rather than living in the moment.
You just need to try and brush that off, enjoy where you are.
Yeah, because you're never going to have those opportunities again, you know? You might go travelling again, but it's not going to be the same. Yeah.
But I think we've covered a lot of...
I think we've covered everything.
Everything we need to talk about in travelling. Have you got any more tips you can think of off the top of your head?
I don't think so.
I think my number one tip is enjoy it.
Yeah, live in the moment, enjoy it.
Obviously, try not to restrict yourself too much. Just, with money and stuff, obviously be wary of it, but just try and enjoy it as much as you can. And just have fun.
You're just going to have, the best time ever.
Yeah, you will.
Maybe we'll see you.
Maybe. Where are you
on our
going this year?
travels.
Do you know?
I'm doing the West Coast.
No, you. I don't know where I'm going this year. I want to do the middle.
The middle.
I want to do south. Actually,
I like
want
the
to
middle.
do like Texas and that lot.
Yeah.
Sophie's on the head in the corner because she's loves Tennessee
Sophie
and
loves
stuff
Tennessee.
like that. But like, I've never been, but I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah,
I've
that
done,
is
like,
fun. I did
Florida.
Nashville. That was
Is it?
fun.
Good.
Sophie
Yeah,
loves Nashville.
I need to do that, and I really want to do Yellowstone.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Really, really, really want to do that.
Do you know what I might go see?
Go.
Throwing back to the first episode, the big heads.
Big heads, what are they?
The big heads, the presidents.
Oh my god, yeah.
Maybe I'll go.
What is that called? Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore.
Where is
Maybe I'll
that?
go. I've been inspired. It's in. It's near South Dakota or South Dakota.
Sure.
I'll tune into the first episode. I'll listen to that one. And
Yeah.
I'll come back.
So you're gonna go see the big heads.
Episode. So the third episode.
Never mind,
Sam's
that's all
looking
the
at
same.
me.
We was talking about this, me and my friends, and we just want to do like a big weirdo road trip, like go and see like the weirdest things in America.
I've always wanted to do that, where it's like the biggest donut on the side of the road.
The biggest bouncy ball made out of elastic
So
bands,
funny.
like all that. We want to go and do that, like, but I don't know if we will.
That's so fun.
But we're just one of those things. I've got no plans, so I'm just gonna see where the world takes me.
Yeah, the best way to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Hopefully we've inspired you to go travelling.
Yeah,
and
hopefully we've inspired you.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah, have
and
the best summer.
Have the best time ever.
Yeah.
Tag us in your pictures. We love seeing them.
Oh my gosh, tag us in your pictures.
Share everything. Yeah.
Share everything. I love looking at people's pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.